Hey guys, my name is Mark Howland, and today we're talking about Pakistan's economy, how it compares to the surrounding countries, as well as really the specifics of it itself. Now, I'm going to do my best to keep it under 5 minutes because, as much as I love finances and economics, I know that maybe not everybody shares in that passion. So I'll give a high elevation view of it so that we don't get into anything too crazy. But one thing that would be really important to understand is that of really, I guess, like the definition of what nominal GDP is. So going into it, we're talking here, and really maybe we'll go down even further. First, we'll talk about gross domestic product or GDP, and then we'll talk about what nominal specifically is. So, when we talk about GDP, as you can see here, it's total monetary or market value of any finished goods and services that a country produces within typically 1 year. And that is the general definition, but it's kind of hard to define when you get into the nuances of each individual product and service. And so most people usually refer to nominal GDP, which is, breaking it down a little bit more, it's just using the country's specific prices and converting them into US dollars so that countries all over the world can be um, viewed all on just this one scale that's easier to understand. And luckily for us, it's translated into US dollars, and so that's going to be really easy for us to understand. So, what I'm looking at is a list of the top 25 countries in the world. So, what we see is the United States is ranked number one in terms of the amount that we produce in a year. India, right next door to Pakistan, is ranked way high up there, number five. And yet, Pakistan and Iran and most of those Middle Eastern countries really are unranked. So they have a lot of great things going on, but just in terms of nominal GDP, they're underperforming in terms of comparison to the rest of the world. Something really interesting to visualize like this is comparing not just the ranking, but the actual production of each country. So what we see here is I like to call it the 10 times rule. And it just seems almost to be a coincidence, but the United States produced $21 trillion of goods and services in the year 2019. It's a not quite 10 times what India did, but it's close. So India came out with 2.8 trillion, and almost exactly 10 times less than that was Pakistan at 278 billion. Now, Iran was 453 billion, but if I put that on there, then it doesn't really follow the pattern of the 10 times rule. So I figured I'd give that to you, but I wouldn't keep it, wouldn't write it in. So, honestly, Pakistan's doing great. Over the last few decades, we've seen them really do some amazing things in terms of continuing to grow that GDP. 2020, because of COVID-19, they saw a contraction in their economy, which means they just didn't continue to grow from the year before. But we're assuming that they're going to get back on track. So, just a couple other things I wanted to highlight before finishing up. Um, the education and health benefits of Pakistan is they're just doing amazing things, and it's helping with the country. the whole economic well-being of the country. I don't have a lot of time left, so I'll just show you. I got a few resources here. I really thought it was really interesting learning more about the Middle East and kind of the comparison of how they um, compare and contrast to where we are, for instance. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much.